Hey everyone, it's Roxabox90 here with the highlights of a four-way matchup between the Commander 2013 commanders Jeleva, Oloro, Derevi, and Nekusar. So let's take a look at the opening hands of this game. Mike was piloting Jeleva. He had an opening hand including a single swamp, an island, a command tower, and a strip mine, as well as a Soul Ring, Solemn Simulacrum, and Dimmer Doppelganger. Hale, piloting Oloro, kept a hand including a Dimmer Guildgate, Temple of the False Gods, an Evolving Wild, an Obelisk of Esper, along with Neverill's Disc, Pristine Talisman, and a Cradle of Vitality. Jacob, running Derevi, kept 3 basic planes, an Emiria Angel, a Swiftfoot Boots, an Eternal Witness, and the one and only Frontline Medic. Finally, Alex kept only 2 lands, and had a Vivid Marsh, a Rakdos Guildgate, opting for 5 cards including a Dismiss, Starstorm, Grixis and Crosis Charm, and a Soul Manipulation. With no mulligans by any of the 4 players, Hill rolled the highest on the die and so was the first player to go. Continuing theme of the game, he gained 2 life at upkeep from Oloro, and then dropped a Dimmer Guildgate before passing the turn to Jacob. Jacob drew and then put down a basic plains. Continuing clockwise, Alex drew and played a Rakdos Guildgate before ending his turn. On his turn, Mike played and tapped a command tower in order to take the lead by casting a Soul Ring. Hill on his turn decided to filter for mana colors with an Evolving Wilds, which he used to find a basic island and put into play tapped. Jacob drew and played a basic forest, tapping it and a plains for Swiftfoot Boots. Alex simply drew, played a tapped Vivid Marsh, and passed the turn. Mike, with no lands in hand, tapped out to cast a Solemn Simulacrum, using the Golem to find a basic mountain, which he then put into play tapped before ending his turn. Continuing his life gain momentum, Hill played a Plains, also tapping out to cast an Obelisk of Esper, which he used to cast a Phyrexian Reclamation. Jacob on his next turn drew before playing another basic Plains and used his 3 basics to cast a Frontline Medic. Alex simply played another basic on his turn, and then Mike put down a basic Swamp before attempting to cast his commander, Jeleva, immediately countered by Alex's Soul Manipulation. Hill on his next turn played a Springjack Pasture, then cast a Pristine Talisman and passed the turn to Jacob. Jacob initially did not play a land, opting to cast his Soulcatcher's Eerie. On his second main phase, he replaced one of the tapped planes with a tapped Azorius Chancery before ending his turn. Alex passed his turn uneventfully, and then Mike untapped, drew, and without playing a land, attempted to recast his commander Jeleva, which was, again, countered, this time by Alex's Dismiss. In response, Mike decided to attack Alex for 2 damage with his Solemn Simulacrum. Hill started off his next turn with a Temple of the False Gods, then tapped everything he had to cast out both a Cradle of Vitality and a Neverill's Disc, with the disc hitting play tapped down. Not to be outdone, Jacob on his next turn cast an Emiria Angel, only then dropping a basic Plains in order to get that 1/1 token from his Angel. He attacked Mike with an unblocked Medic, doing a total of 3 damage. Alex drew, then put down a Temple of the False Gods before casting a Crosis Charm, destroying Mike's Soul Ring. With the pressure on, Mike untapped, then cast a Mimic Vat, following it up by attacking Alex again for another 2 with his Solemn. Hill happily gained 2 more life from Oloro before drawing and putting down another basic Plains. He cast a Sanguine Bond before letting Jacob go. On his next turn, Jacob finally brought in his commander Derevi, then put down an island to get another 1/1 bird token from his Angel. He used a Cultivate to tutor and find 2 basics. One went right into play, generating a third 1/1 token, and the other went straight to his hand. He attacked with everything he could, taking Alex down to a total of 29 life. Using Derevi's ability to untap mana, Jacob ended his turn after casting a Sprite Noble, in order to pump his legion of creatures. In response to the attack and the growing horde, Alex on his next turn turned up the heat by burning a 5 damage Starstorm. Wiping out all the creatures on the field, it also adding counters as a side effect to Jacob's Eerie. After drawing a card and attaching his Dead Solemn to Mimic Vat, Mike then untapped and put down a Dragon Skull Summit. He used the Vat to recreate Solemn, getting an island before dealing 2 damage to Jacob with his hasted creature. Gaining more life from Oloro and his Talisman, Hill made Jacob take 2 and Mike 1 from life gain with his Sanguine Bond. Drawing and putting down a Swamp, he then cast a Tower Gargoyle before ending his turn. Jacob drew and then thought some more before putting down a basic Plains and mistakenly attempting to recast Derevi. This allowed Mike to quickly hinder the Bird General, an action which would not have been possible if Derevi was put into play for a simple 4 mana. Alex decided to drop a bomb of his own on his next turn, casting out Thraximundar. He then attacked Hill, the only player with a creature, forcing a sacrifice of the gargoyle and a total of 7 damage before passing to Mike. Mike attempted again to cast Jeleva, and no one was able to counter her this time, and Mike exiled a couple of dozen cards for her attacking ability. Before his next turn, Hill tapped his Pristine Talisman in order to gain a life, but it also made Alex lose 1. Gaining 2 more life from Oloro and making Mike lose another 2, Hill then used Phyrexian Reclamation to get and recast his Tower Gargoyle. He also cast a Serene Master before passing to Jacob. With no Derevi to play, Jacob cast a 7/7 Eerie Mystic on his next turn. Made that powerful via his Soul Catcher's Eerie, somehow putting boots onto the Mystic's Talon's feet. Jacob sent the attacking Mystics to take Mike down to 27. Hilariously, Alex dropped a Meteor Crater, post his couple of turns ago Starstorm, and then tapped everything he had to cast and equip to Swiftfoot Boots. He also cast a key piece for Nekusar, his Underworld Dreams. Alex attacked Mike, forcing Jeleva to go back to the command zone, again, and then dealt 8 damage to Mike. On his turn, Mike drew and took 1 from the Dreams, then used the Vat to replay Solemn, again, getting another island and then attacking Alex for 2 more. Before his turn, Hill dealt 1 damage from his Talisman life gain to Mike, then on his turn used Oloro's life to bring Jacob down to 33. Powered up his Tower Gargoyle from his Cradle Vitality with the life gain shenanigans, and then played an Azorius Chancery before tapping out to finally cast his commander Oloro from the command zone. Jacob on his next turn drew and took 1 from Underworld Dreams, then cast Eladamri's Call to fetch a Bane of Progress in order to deal with Hill's total board control. Shajiri's Step made his Mystics unblockable, and he attacked Hill for 7, taking him down to 41 before passing the turn to Alex. Alex put down a Soul Ring, then cast his commander Nekusar, used a Grixis Charm to put Oloro back into Hill's hand, and attacked Jacob to force a sacrifice of the Mystics before taking Jacob down to 23. Mike on his next turn dropped a Decree of Pain in an attempt to clear the field and draw cards. At the same time, Hill activated his Neverall's Disc in response, clearing the field entirely but costing Mike that card drawing advantage. Hill on his next turn drew, then put down a Plains before casting Oloro directly from his hand for 6. He then cast a Deep Analysis in order to draw 2 more cards. Jacob put down a tapped Seaside Citadel at the beginning of his turn, cast an Eternal Witness to get back Eladamri's Call. With little to do as well, Alex on his next turn simply cast an Echo Mage and then passed the turn. Mike on his next turn used a Bloodstained Mire to find a swamp, while Alex cast a Careful Consideration to draw 4 and then discard 3 cards from his hand. Now with enough mana, Mike recast Jeleva once again, taking a ton of cards into exile before passing the turn to Hill. The next 3 turns were rather slow. Hill used his life gain, Brilliant Plan, and Flashback Deep Analysis in order to draw a ton of cards before letting Jacob go. Jacob used his Eladamri's Call to find his commander Derevi, which he recast while Alex also recast his commander into play. Mike tapped 8 on his turn to cast Nicol Bolas Planeswalker, stealing Oloro and taking control of the field. Hill on his next turn cast an Exquisite Blood and a Viscopa Guildmage. And then the camera battery died. But within the next turn or so, Hill got off an infinite combo by doing damage to one of his opponents and won the game handily through the Viscopa's ability. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to tap that like button to let me know you want more EDH Commander gameplay. And then, if you aren't already subscribed, subscribe before heading down to the comment section. Let me know what you thought of this game. And as always, Roxabox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.